Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to this member spotlight with me. My name's Kate Cherry. I'm the Regional Director of the Athena Network in Bedfordshire, and I have with me today Tilly Bartens, who is the Director, I guess, of Raring2Go Bedford. And we're going to find out a bit more about her and what she does today. A little bit about Athena. We are a business networking and development club for where we operate nationally and internationally for women in business, whether they own their own company or sole traders, or they are in charge of business development for their business, their company. And we are, the pillars of what we stand for is support, connection and training. And so we bring together women of all sorts of professions, but for the purposes of supporting each other, sharing connections, sharing referrals, collaborating over monthly networking meetings and other events. And so I run groups in Bedford, Woburn, Luton, St Albans and Redbourne, and coffee morning networking as well. And so I like to do these spotlights as a means to highlight some of our members, what they do, and share with you why they're awesome and what they can do to help you and raise that awareness of their business. And so Tilly here today. Hi Tilly.
Hi.
I love your background. Is that your kids?
No, they're not my kids, but mine wouldn't be so well behaved. But we just thought it was great to have some branding around.
I love it. Right, we're going to find out all about that in a minute. So if we jump right in then, tell us about Raring2Go, your business, and you're Raring2Go Bedford, aren't you?
Yes.
And what is it that you do and how do you help people?
So Raring2Go Bedford is a free local magazine. We go out quarterly to schools, and we would normally be delivering 18,000 copies each quarter. So it basically is for local businesses to advertise in, so promoting what they offer for families, whether that be for parents or children, fun ideas, activities, days out, that sort of thing. We also have a website where we list events and have articles and things that are of interest to families. And obviously we're on social media sharing and posting activities and places to go each day.
Fantastic. And so how did you start? What got you into this? How did you start?
How did I start? So I've been a full-time working mum for as long as I can remember, and about 2 years ago I kind of had a mad moment where my daughter's going to secondary school this September, and I suddenly have a bit of a wobble about what was going to happen to her. There wouldn't be any kids clubs, I'd be an hour away down the M1, and started really thinking, actually, I didn't want her to come home to an empty house, and I didn't want her sort of wandering the streets. So I started to think about what I could do. And my first idea was to get a local job, but then I thought I've got the same constraints. I can't leave at 3, I can't be here at the time she is. Then I saw an advert for a family-friendly business for sale, and about 2 meetings later, I find myself buying a business.
I love that. And what appealed to you about the business, apart from obviously how it fit in?
I think, the fact I could work from home. I'd also moved to Bedford a few years before that. So for me, I'd always been working in Hemel Hempstead. So I really wanted to get to know where I lived. So I thought, A, I'm going to get to know where I live. B, I'm here for my kids. And, we have the magazine, it came in our book bags, and we used it to sort of work out what we were going to do, or places we were going to visit, or just some great ideas. And I thought, well, I'd love to be part of that. And I'm sure I've got the right transferable skills from my other jobs. So yeah, I took the plunge.
So that's great, because from the off you had that consumer perspective of your product, didn't you? So you kind of knew what you expect, what you wanted for a start from a customer, and what's valuable content, where to put it and all of that. So is your role bringing it all together and distributing?
Yeah, so I'm responsible for selling advertising space, although I don't like to see myself as a salesperson. For me, it's about building relationships and working with people, and tailoring what we can offer to meet their needs. I wouldn't sell somebody an advertising space if I didn't think it was a good fit. So it's got to be right for Raring2Go and their business. And yeah, then going around, finding content. So I'll either write articles myself, or I might have some people who say, oh, we would like to offer you this, is this of interest? And we'll work from there.
Fantastic. And so what then led you to, what appealed to you about Athena? Why did you join Athena as a member?
So I think, I mean, I was fairly new to the networking world, and I probably spent the first, I don't know, 18 months, just trying a few out. Um, and then obviously Athena launched in Bedford, and I came along as a visitor. And I just felt really welcome. I felt there was a supportive group of ladies. There didn't seem to be any, agendas other than to help and support each other, which I think is so important. And no sort of, clicky corners. I'm not good at that. We're either all in it together or we're all out, kind of thing. So that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, that's banned with us, cliquey corners. We don't like cliquey corners. And I've come to learn in time that things that I thought might have been cliquey corners 5 or 6 years ago in my first experiences in networking, it was probably more like people who were nervous and happy to see people they knew. But to a visitor, it can come across as exclusive and quite nerve-wracking. So one of the things I pride us with, I guess, is being accessible, that people are going to feel welcome. We encourage our members to turn around and welcome the new person because they might only see them once. But
and I think you're right. I've learned now that obviously you do that. There is a part of you that you do kind of congregate with the people you know, and then slowly move on to the people you don't know, because we all need to feel comfortable.
Absolutely, I love that. And so what benefits have you had so far? I mean, I know one thing is that as a group of members, we're going to do a joint spread, aren't we, in magazine for the summer, which is very exciting. So how have you personally or in your business benefited so far?
I think through the talks, I've learned a lot, and realised that some of the struggles that I had starting out, it is a very different world than being employed. So the struggles that I had and may have thought, oh, it's just me, I didn't do this or I didn't do that, or why didn't I do that? I think everybody has had. I mean, it is a continual learning journey. I think to be able to go there each month and to build those relationships, you can share a bit more and you can learn a bit more rather than just dipping in and out of various groups. So that's really nice. I've gained some advertisers. I found places to buy great presents, and great afternoon tea. So, that's all good. And also more recently, I've connected with a member from one of your other groups, and I'm going to be doing some associate tutor work. So helping people get back into work, or just help them with their CVs or any other life issues they may have.
Oh, that's amazing, because otherwise, if you hadn't potentially been at the same networking event, which you wouldn't have because you actually live in very different areas, don't you? If it weren't for that regional member group and collaborating on that group as well as in the meetings, that might not have happened. So I love that. Thank you for mentioning that. That's such a good outcome, I think. So what would you, if you had someone in front of you who was starting out in business, what tips would you give that person, that woman in business, about to launch?
So it's going to be harder than you think. It's very different than being employed, so just be ready for that. There's a big difference between having your paycheck every month and not having your paycheck every month, so you kind of have to get your head around that and budget and things. I think I was really frightened of making a fool of myself on social media, and so I shied away from it. Since lockdown, that's one of the things I've really focused on. And actually, I'm not going to please everybody all of the time. So sometimes I'm going to look a bit silly. Sometimes people are going to think I'm an idiot. But, it's all about getting your brand out there and marketing what you do, but also, giving people things. So, through lockdown, we've done a lot around home education, craft activities, just things you can do simply at home or going for a walk. But I think, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and you've got to learn to develop a thick skin.
Absolutely, yeah. And get your crew around you, find your people you want to work with, especially in lockdown, I guess, isn't it? It's about staying visible and supported. And so what's next for you? What's next for Raring2Go?
Well, we've obviously changed this summer because we had to go digital, because we weren't able to get into schools with our magazines, and also because obviously we didn't have the advertisers, because most of the places, as you will appreciate, being for families, were closed or shut or weren't doing anything. So, our big challenge now is to get back into print, which we're hoping to do in the autumn. There'll be lots of conversations then with schools about, are they happy for us to be there? Because obviously they will just be getting back on their feet. So are they happy to have us coming in with our magazines? So it's all about working together. You know, I'm not certainly rocking up at a school in September with all my magazines and saying you have to take them, because, you know, that's not a good advert for my business. So there's going to be lots of conversations, no doubt lots of reassurances, and probably lots of new conversations with other schools who might want the magazine. We're also going to have to be reaching out to a wider audience, because obviously there's a cost implication of going back to print. So, you know, that's a real consideration for us right now. And then the other big thing, which is hopefully going to launch in August, is the first ever Bedfordshire Grandparent of the Year award. So we came up with the idea in lockdown. So we want to do something really positive, and we wanted again to provide businesses with an opportunity to get involved with something positive and showcase, you know, their great businesses, but without trying to sell something. So we're going to be launching in August. We've got some sponsors on board, which is fantastic, and feel privileged to have them. We just need to get a few more.
Brilliant. That's really good to know. And what was I going to say? There's also other stuff that you do, isn't there? So you've got obviously the work you're starting with the other member, but you do have another business as well, don't you?
I do, yeah. So I do some freelance work for another local company, but I'm also just started out as a consultant for a French fashion company called Captain Tortue, which again has been quite quiet through lockdown, but I can see that beginning to pick up now. So I've got a one-to-one shopping experience tomorrow, and we're going to be doing some charity pop-up shops in about a few weeks' time. So quite excited about that.
Keep us posted, and make sure, what I was going to say as well is make sure that when this comes out, which people can see now already, where possible, add into the comments all your links to things so people know where to find you, whether they found this on LinkedIn, Facebook or YouTube. Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Tilly. If you need to get in touch with Tilly, what's the best way to contact you?
So the email address is bedford@raring2go.co.uk. But yeah, so we've also got a website, but we can be found on all the social media sites too, so it's fairly easy to find us.
Nice and easy. And so if anyone would like to come and meet other fabulous businesswomen like Tilly at one of our groups, so Tilly's in our Bedford group, which is pretty much to capacity with a new member joining this month, or Woburn or Luton or St Albans or Redbourne, then please contact me. Or if you are further afield and you've found this, we have groups nationally from Preston right down to Bournemouth, so and everywhere between. So do contact me and I can put you in touch with the right regional director, and you can contact me on the messenger here. So thank you very much, and thanks Tilly, and have a fantastic afternoon.
Thank you, Kate. See you soon.